The colony ship Erebus drifted through the silent dark of interstellar space. It was a pride of humanity's expansion, carrying almost 40,000 people, families, engineers, farmers, scientists. Everyone needed to start a new world far beyond the reach of Earth. For months, everything had been peaceful. The long hum of engines, the steady glow of artificial lights, the rhythm of human life in the void. But then, without warning, the stars disappeared. At first, it seemed like a minor glitch. Crew members in control deck checked their screens, expecting a simple sensor fault. Yet every system agreed on the same impossible truth. The external view was gone. No starlight. No galaxies. Just black. Lieutenant Harker frowned at his monitor, fingers tapping nervously against the console. "Navigation feed is blind," he muttered. "I've got no reference points. Not even background radiation." Captain Rains leaned forward in his chair, voice calm but tight. "Run diagnostics. Maybe the array froze." The ship's AI confirmed, its voice smooth and steady, but with a strange undertone. No malfunction detected. External sensors are fully functional. Data stream is accurate. A chill ran through the room. If the sensors weren't broken, then something else had erased the universe around them. Minutes passed. People whispered. Some said it must be a dust cloud, some kind of natural phenomenon. Others weren't so sure. Then came the ping, soft at first, then repeating, sharper each time. The long-range radar had picked up movement. Harker's eyes widened. "Captain, I've got a contact. Bearing unknown. Speed." He stopped, double-checking. His throat went dry. Faster than possible. The captain stood. On screen. The display lit up, showing only static at first, then a faint shape moving against the endless black. It didn't look like any ship designed by human hands. Its angles bent in ways that hurt the eyes, as though geometry itself was breaking. A shadow sliding where no light should exist. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then the AI broke the silence. "This vessel does not match any known human design. No registry. No data." Someone whispered, "It's them, isn't it?" The captain raised a hand to steady the crew. "Send standard greeting signals. All languages, all bands." The message went out, echoing into the dark. For a full minute, nothing happened. Then, at last, the alien ship responded, not with words, but with a stream of tones, a cold mechanical sequence repeating over and over. Dr. Vera, the ship's senior scientist, leaned in, listening closely. "It's math," she said softly. "Prime numbers. A universal test of intelligence." The captain nodded. "Respond." But before he could order the reply, someone else acted. Officer Hale, young and eager, sent back a human pattern. The Fibonacci sequence, a simple, elegant answer. The bridge went silent, all eyes on the alien craft. At first, it stopped moving. It simply hung in space, as though listening. Second dragged on like hours. Then the dark ship shifted. Energy reading spiked. Its hull glowed faintly as if veins of fire ran through it. Harker's voice cracked. "Captain, their weapons are charging." "No," Vera whispered, shaking her head. "We answered correctly. This should have worked." The captain's jaw tightened. Shields up, all hands to alert. Across the Erebus, alarms blared. Families in the habitation decks clutched their children. Engineers strapped themselves to consoles. Soldiers grabbed rifles they knew would be useless against a ship the size of a mountain. The colony ship was never built for war. It was built to carry life, not to defend it. Still, humanity had survived worse. The alien ship closed the distance, silent and merciless. Its strange geometry shimmered, bending light around it. Then came the beam. A white-hot lance of energy struck the colony ship's outer hull. Metal screamed. Entire sections tore apart. Hundreds of lives vanished in an instant as fire spread through the void. The Erebus shuddered, systems failing, alarms screaming. On the bridge, chaos broke out, but the captain's voice cut through like iron. "Damage report. Return fire, anything we've got." Rail guns fired. Missiles launched. But the weapons barely scratched the alien's surface. It was like throwing stones at a hurricane. Still, The humans did not stop. They fired again and again, refusing to bow. As explosions echoed across the ship, something strange happened. The alien vessel did not press the attack immediately. Instead, it paused, as if watching, measuring, testing. Dr. Vera stared at her readings, her face pale. "They are studying us," she whispered. "Every move we make, every reaction." The captain looked at the shadow ship on the screen, his eyes hard, then let them learn what it means to fight humans. And with those words, the first battle between mankind and the unknown truly began. The Erebus groaned as emergency systems worked to stabilize its wounded hull. Smoke filled corridors, and red lights painted the ship like a battlefield. Families huddled in fear while engineers sealed bulkheads and soldiers rushed to guard the survivors. The first strike had taken hundreds of lives, but the colony ship was still alive. Humanity was still alive. On the bridge, Captain Rain stood tall, though exhaustion was written across his face. His voice was steady, sharp, refusing panic. "Status." Lieutenant Harker wiped sweat from his forehead. "Shields at 30%. Power rerouting from secondary engines. Hull breach in sections D through F. Casualty reports still coming in." The numbers didn't need to be said. Everyone already knew they were grim. Dr. Vera's eyes were locked on her console. Her hands trembled, but her voice was clear. The alien ship isn't pressing the attack. It's holding position, watching. On the main screen, the vessel loomed, massive, dark, with those impossible angles that twisted the mind if one stared too long. Energy still pulsed along its hull like veins of fire, but its weapons had gone silent. Captain Rains narrowed his eyes. They struck once to show power. Now they wait to see what we'll do. Silence hung in the air. Everyone knew the meaning behind those words. The aliens hadn't come to talk. They had come to judge. Suddenly, the ship's AI spoke. Its voice was calm but carried an edge of unease. "Incoming transmission. Pattern detected. Translating incomplete." The speakers filled with a harsh, distorted tone, mechanical pulses, layered over one another. At first it sounded like noise, but then a rhythm emerged. Long tones, short bursts, precise intervals. Dr. Vera leaned forward, her face pale but fascinated. "It's math again. Different this time. A sequence of equations. More complex. They are escalating the test." Officer Hale, the young man who had answered the first signal, clenched his fists. His voice was low. "I think they're measuring us. They want to know how fast we adapt." The captain's gaze hardened. "Or how fast we fail." The bridge was tense. Some officers whispered that they should stay silent, avoid provoking the aliens further. Others argued they had no choice but to respond. Every second the debate felt like standing on the edge of a blade. Finally, the captain spoke. "Dr. Vera, can you solve it?" She nodded slowly. "Yes, I can. But the question is, should we?" Her words hung in the air. The alien vessel had already proven itself stronger, far beyond human technology. And yet, it demanded more answers, more proof. Were they playing with humanity? Testing it like a scientist with a lab animal? The crew's eyes turned to the captain. The weight of the decision pressed down on him alone. He exhaled, then gave the order. "Send the solution. Let them know we are not simple creatures to be dismissed." The AI compiled a response, broadcasting the mathematical pattern back to the alien ship. The crew watched in silence, waiting for any reaction. Seconds crawled by like years. Then the alien ship moved, slowly at first, then faster, circling the Erebus like a predator examining its prey. Its strange geometry shifted as if the ship itself were alive, reshaping, reconfiguring. Harker's voice shook. "They are scanning us. Every system. Every signal." The Erebus shuddered again, not from weapons, but from an invisible force probing deep into its systems. Consoles flickered. Lights dimmed. The AI stuttered, its smooth voice breaking. "Warning. Intrusion detected. Unknown algorithms attempting system override. They're inside our network." Vera shouted. "They are trying to read us from the inside out." "Cut the link," the captain ordered. "Lock them out. Now." But the alien technology was faster, sharper, Firewalls collapsed like paper walls. For a terrifying moment, the crew watched as the ship itself seemed to bend to the intruder's will. Then, just as suddenly, the intrusion stopped. The alien ship pulled back, drifting to its original position. The light steadied. The I's voice returned. Intrusion ceased. System secure. No one moved. No one spoke. Everyone knew what had just happened. The aliens could have taken everything. The ship, the people, the mission. Yet they hadn't. They had chosen to stop. Why? The answer came moments later. The alien ship emitted another burst of signal, this time sharper, almost violent. The AI translated fragments, observed, measured. Insufficient. The captain's jaw tightened. Insufficient? They think we failed their test. Dr. Vera's hands trembled. Or maybe they're setting up the next one. Before anyone could respond, the alien vessel powered up again. Its hull glowed brighter, the energy veins pulsing with deadly light. Harker's voice cracked. Weapons charging. Captain, they're going to strike again. The captain gripped the edge of his chair. He had no illusions now. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't diplomacy. The aliens had judged humanity, and they found it wanting. Ready defenses, he said firmly. If they want to test us, then let's show them we don't die quietly. And as the alien ship's weapons burned hotter than suns, the humans prepared for the next blow, their fear slowly hardening into defiance. The alien ship glowed like a burning shadow, its veins of light pulsing brighter with each second. On the Erebus, the bridge crew worked in silence, their hands moving fast across consoles, their faces pale but steady. Everyone knew what was coming. Energy spike is climbing, Harker said, his voice shaking. They are going to fire again. Captain Rains didn't flinch. Hold the line. Ready counterfire. Railgun crews armed their weapons, massive slugs loaded into magnetic chambers. Missile bays primed. Defensive drones launched into the void, tiny sparks of human technology surrounding the wounded colony ship. For a heartbeat, time seemed to stop. Then the alien beam struck. A line of white fire cut through the darkness, ripping into the Erebus like the blade of a god. Whole decks melted away in an instant. The shockwave hurled people to the ground, alarms screaming through every corridor. Thousands of lives ended before they even understood what had happened. On the bridge, sparks rained from broken panels. Harker shouted over the noise. Sections H through K. Gone. Casualties. His voice broke. Too many. Return fire, the captain roared. Rail guns thundered, launching solid slugs at near-light speed. Missiles streaked toward the alien ship, their trails carving bright scars in the void. The explosions lit space with fire, wrapping the alien vessel in clouds of burning gas. For a moment, hope flickered. Maybe, just maybe, it had worked. But when the smoke cleared, the alien ship was still there, unharmed. Its dark hull bent the light around it, its shape shifting like liquid metal. The human weapons had left nothing more than scratches. Direct hits, Harker whispered, his face pale. And they did nothing. The crew fell silent. The truth hit them all at once. This enemy was beyond them. But then Dr. Vera noticed something. Her eyes widened as she studied the readings. Wait! Look! They're weapon systems. They need time to recharge. They can't fire again right away. The captain turned sharply. How long? 2 minutes. Maybe less. But it's something. Rain's eyes hardened. Then we make every second count. He gave orders fast, his voice iron. Drones were to harass the enemy. Missiles launch in waves. Decoys spread across the void. The Erebus would not simply sit and die. It would fight, and fight smart. Outside, drones swarmed like angry hornets, darting in close, firing small bursts to distract the alien ship. Missiles detonated at odd angles, flooding the sensors with static. The Erebus itself shifted, burning precious fuel to maneuver in ways no slow colony ship was ever meant to move. The alien vessel responded with cold precision. Beams cut through decoys one by one, drones bursting like sparks against its shields. Yet even this titan of technology couldn't strike everywhere at once. Its weapons pulsed, fired, then paused. Each pause was another breath of survival for humanity. On the habitation decks, Civilians clung to life. Engineers sealed bulkheads, dragging the wounded from burning corridors. Soldiers stood guard, rifles useless against the void, but hands steady all the same. Every heartbeat carried the same thought: we cannot give up. Then the alien ship shifted again, its shape bending into a form that defied logic. Energy built across its surface, brighter and brighter. They are going to fire again. Harker shouted. The captain's jaw clenched. Helm! Hard burn! Now! The Erebus lurched as its engines roared, throwing the massive ship into a sharp evasive maneuver. The alien beam lanced past, missing by a fraction, tearing a scar through the empty void. Cheers broke out across the bridge, but only for a second. Everyone knew the truth. Luck would not save them twice. Dr. Vera stared at her console, her mind racing. They are not just attacking. They are recording everything. Every move, every tactic. The captain's eyes narrowed. Testing us. Yes, she said, her voice low. They want to see how humans react under pressure. They want to know if we break, or if we adapt. On the screen, the alien ship loomed larger, its terrible power undiminished. The Erebus was bleeding, broken, its people terrified. And yet, in that moment, humanity refused to collapse. The captain's voice cut through the silence, sharp as steel. They think we're weak. They think we'll bow. He straightened, his eyes blazing with defiance. But humanity doesn't bow. Not now. Not ever. Railguns fired again. Missiles streaked once more. Drones dove at the enemy like sparks against a storm. Every man, woman, and child aboard the Erebus knew this might be their final stand, but none of them stopped fighting. And as the alien ship prepared its next strike, one truth burned in the hearts of every survivor. If this was a test, then humanity would answer it with blood, fire, and unbroken will. The Erebus was wounded, scarred by fire and loss, but still alive. In the silence after the last alien strike, the survivors gathered their strength. Engineers patched holes, medics dragged the injured from the wreckage, and soldiers stood guard though their rifles meant little in the vacuum of space. On the bridge, the captain's face was carved from stone. His crew looked to him for orders, their hope balanced on his every word. "We can't outgun them," he said at last, voice low but steady. "But maybe we don't have to." Lieutenant Harker frowned. "So?" The captain turned to Dr. Vera. "They have power beyond us, but every time they fire, they need time to recover. That's a weakness. Tell me, Doctor, what can humans do with a weakness like that?" Vera's eyes lit with thought. Her fingers flew over the console. "Decoys, tricks, illusions. They are studying us, expecting us to fight directly. But if we fight like humans always have, using deception, they won't see it coming." The captain gave a sharp nod. "Then let's remind them of Earth's oldest lesson. The weak can survive by being clever." All across the ship, engineers and technicians went to work. They didn't build new weapons. They didn't have the time. Instead, they rewired old systems, rerouted signals, and reprogrammed drones. Cargo containers were turned into false heat signatures. Communications arrays became weapons of noise, blasting false signals into space. The ship's AI, though shaken by the alien intrusion earlier, joined the effort. Its calm voice guided human hands. Recommend pattern disruption. Recommend scattering power to mimic multiple holes. Recommend false vector trails to confuse targeting. For hours, the crew worked, every second filled with fear that the alien ship would strike again. Yet strangely, it held its fire, watching from a distance, as if it knew humanity was preparing and wanted to see how. At last, the captain stood. His eyes swept across the tired, bruised faces of his crew. "We've only got one chance. Let's see if the hunters know what it feels like to be hunted." The plan began. Drones launched into the void, each carrying false signals and heat flays. Some projected the Erebus's signature. Others created phantom echoes that looked like warships far larger than they were. The dark between stars filled with ghosts of ships that didn't exist. At the same time, the Erebus cut power to non-essential systems, slipping into the shadows of its own illusions. The alien vessel stirred. Its impossible angles shifted, its weapons pulsing as it tried to lock onto targets. Beams lanced out, destroying decoys one after another, but each time it fired, precious seconds passed before it could fire again. Harker grinned despite himself. It's working. They're wasting shots on shadows. The captain didn't smile. Good. Keep pushing them. Then came the next layer of deception. Dr. Vera had modified a communications array, blasting out encrypted bursts of static designed to scramble sensors. If their machines are reading us, she explained, then let's feed them lies. The void filled with chaos. Signals clashed and collided, confusing even the Erebus's own scanners. The alien ship slowed, as though uncertain. Its weapons paused, its movements hesitant. For the first time, humanity had forced a predator to hesitate. But victory did not come without cost. Each decoy destroyed meant another drone gone, another resource lost. Every false signal burned precious power reserves. The Erebus was bleeding energy, and the crew knew it couldn't last. Power reserves dropping fast. The AI warned. At current expenditure, ship survival time, 40 minutes. The captain's face tightened. 40 minutes is a lifetime if we use it well. He turned to his crew. Listen to me. They think they are testing us, measuring us like an experiment. But humans don't fit into neat little boxes. We are unpredictable. That's our strength. That's how we win. The alien ship began to adapt. Its beams no longer fired wildly. Instead, it slowed, observing, trying to distinguish real from false. The pauses between strikes grew shorter. It was learning. Dr. Vera's voice shook. They're adapting too quickly. If we don't change the game again, they'll burn us out. The captain stared at the screen, eyes hard. Then we don't let them adapt. We stay one step ahead. And so, the crew shifted tactics. Decoys that once fled now turned aggressive, rushing toward the alien ship before exploding in bursts of radiation. The Erebus itself feigned weakness, venting plasma to look crippled, then striking when the enemy turned away. Each trick cost them dearly. Each success was bought with pain. But slowly, piece by piece, the aliens' rhythm faltered. On the lower decks, civilians whispered of hope. Soldiers carried the wounded but walked taller, their eyes burning with defiance. For the first time since the nightmare began, humanity wasn't just surviving. It was fighting back. On the bridge, Dr. Vera whispered a thought that haunted them all. We're forcing them to respect us or hate us. The captain's gaze never left the alien ship. Either way, he said coldly, we'll make sure they never forget us. And as a void lit with fire and deception, the crew of the Erebus proved a truth older than stars. Humanity doesn't win by strength alone. Humanity wins by refusing to die, by turning weakness into strategy, and by fighting with the one weapon no alien could measure, ingenuity. The battle dragged on, hour by hour. The Erebus fought with shadows, illusions, and desperate tricks. Each moment of survival was bought with fire and sacrifice. But everyone aboard knew the truth. They could not keep this up forever. The alien ship was adapting. It learned faster with every exchange. Its strange weapons fired more often now, each beam cutting through the decoys with ruthless precision. One by one, drones fell silent. False signals faded. The void grew darker around the human vessel. Lieutenant Harker's voice was grim. Captain, at this rate we'll be out of tricks in 20 minutes. Less. The captain stood silent at the center of the bridge. His eyes were fixed on the tactical map, where the alien ship loomed like a dark star. For a long time, no one dared speak. Then his hand tapped the edge of the console. There's one move left, he said quietly. The crew turned to him. We can't destroy them with weapons, he continued. But maybe we can destroy them with nature. Dr. Vera's eyes widened as she followed his gaze on the map. A massive gas giant dominated the nearby system, its swirling storm filling the screen with violent beauty. Bands of orange and red churned endlessly, while gravity that crushed anything that drew too close. You want to use a planet, she whispered. The captain nodded. If we can lure them into the gravity well, the planet might finish what we can't. All we need to do is push them close enough. Harker frowned. And if we fail? The captain's jaw tightened. Then we die anyway. Better to die fighting with purpose than waiting to be hunted. The plan spread through the ship. The Erebus would feign weakness, falling back toward the gas giant's pool. Every decoy left would be used to provoke the alien vessel, to keep it close, to make it believe the humans were desperate prey trying to escape. It was a gamble with only one chance. If the alien ship realized the trap too soon, the plan would fail. The crew accepted the risk. They had no other choice. The operation began. The Erebus cut power to its main drive, drifting slowly toward the massive gas giant. Its wounded hull vented plasma, painting the illusion of a dying ship. Distress signals echoed through the void, part real, part fabricated by the AI to strengthen the ruse. The alien vessel followed. Its dark angles shifted, its weapons pulsing with hungry light. On the bridge, sweat beaded across brows. Every movement, every second mattered. Distance to gravity threshold, the captain asked. 35,000 kilometers, Harker reported. Closing fast. Decoys scattered like frightened birds, each one firing false blasts toward the alien vessel before being destroyed. The Predator barely noticed. Its focus remained locked on the Erebus. Dr. Vera leaned close to the captain. They must know something is wrong. Why are they following so easily? Rain's eyes narrowed. Because they are studying us. They think this is just another test. They don't realize it's a trap. But the aliens were not fools. As the Erebus drew closer to the swirling storms of the gas giant, the alien ship slowed. It began to circle, as though suspicious. Its weapons glowed, ready to strike again. Captain, Harker warned, they are hesitating. If they back off now. They won't, Rain said. His voice was steady, though inside his heart pounded. They've come too far. Curiosity will be their downfall. Then, just as the tension reached its peak, Officer Hale's console flared with new readings. His voice cracked. Captain, I think I know why they're here. The crew turned to him. Hale swallowed hard. Look at the data. They are not trying to win. They are recording everything. Our weapons, our tactics, even our fear. They are studying us like scientists studying animals. The word struck the crew like a blade. Vera's face went pale. He's right. They don't see us as enemies. They see us as test subjects. A heavy silence filled the bridge. Rage boiled in the air. They had lost friends, family, entire sections of their ship, not to an enemy fighting for survival, but to beings who thought humans were nothing more than an experiment. The captain's eyes burned with fury. Then let's show them that humans bite back. The final phase began. The Erebus pushed harder into the gas giant's pool, its engine straining. The alien vessel followed, still watching, still recording. Distance to gravity threshold. The captain demanded. 10,000 kilometers. Harker shouted. If they don't pull away now, they are caught. The alien ship shifted, its angles warping into new forms. Energy rippled across its surface as if it sensed a danger. 5,000 kilometers. The captain gripped the arm of his chair, his voice sharp as steel. All engines, burn hard. Pull us free, now. The Erebus roared to life, engines screaming as it fought against the pull of the planet. The alien vessel, caught in the same gravity well, reacted too late. Its hull twisted, engines blazing as it struggled to escape. 3,000 kilometers. The void trembled with fire. The alien ship strained, but gravity was merciless. The captain's eyes narrowed. Now! Hit them with everything. Rail guns fired. Missile streaked. Drones dove. Not to destroy, but to shove, to push, to drive the alien vessel deeper into the planet's grip. The alien ship fought back, beams slicing through the assault. But every second wasted on defense dragged it closer to death. 2,000 kilometers. Harker shouted. The alien vessel's shape writhed, energy surging wildly. It burned power beyond measure, engines screaming against the pull of the gas giant. But humanity refused to let go. The captain's voice thundered across the bridge. If we die here, we make sure they die too. And the Erebus, broken and bleeding, poured out the last of its strength to drag the Predator into the storm.